Shri Gravedam, Sri Chaitanya Mano Bishtam Sapitam Jena Bhutale, Swayam Rupa Kadamahim Karati Swa Padantikam. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakti, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Sri Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Gaura Bhakti ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shloka.
So we are very happy to be with you again this week. And we are eternally grateful to Sri Gurudev and our acharyas for giving us this wonderful opportunity. That such a difficult journey. They're very, very kind that they have provided all the necessary things, information about the road. They have also provided all the food we need, all the necessary we need on the journey to get to the destination. We are eternally grateful. With the instructions, in form of their teachings and their writings, their personal examples, and their prayers for us, or their well-wishing, everything, the association of other devotees they have given to us. We are eternally grateful and indebted to all our acharyas, in whichever way they're helping us. So we continue to look at the different situations we experience in this material world, and especially for devotees, how we are very, very fortunate to have everything we need to stand aside and see the material world and see how dangerous and how naked it is, and try to follow it in a way that we're not part of it. We are here, but we're not part of it. And we are here, like the Bhagavad described, Ivam Abasa. That is the fortune we have. So we continue to discuss about this topic. Very, very interesting topic. Gurudev has discussed very nicely. Stress. We've been looking at the stress. We have discussed last week varieties of stresses which we face daily. And we also look at it very closely to say that we cannot be free from stress. That means something we have to deal with, just like we have to eat every day. So we have to look at the stress every day. For us to eat every day, we have to cook every day. Except we're going to eat whole food. That's so good for health. So we continue to look at second day of stress. And today, Gurudev will be talking about manipulative behavior and how that stresses everyone. Manipulative behavior from those who lead us create stress, unnecessary. As we look at the healthy stress last week and also look at unhealthy stress, we continue to look at unhealthy stress and look at the healthy stress. And we're also going to discuss the wonderful ways how to get out of this thing successfully. Not running away from it, not shying away, not pretending, but to confront everything and get out successfully. So today we're talking about two things: duplicity and dishonesty. In the present day society, widespread duplicity and dishonesty contribute to the general level of stress. People say things they do not believe. I do things they do not wish to do. We say things we don't do, we don't believe in, and we do things we don't wish to do. Arjun complained of this to Krishna. Who is that person forcing me to do things I don't want to do? Who is that person? Show me the person. I want to deal with the person. I want to know who is that against me, my enemy. And I'm forced to do some things I don't want to do. Now, Krishna pointed it clearly to us in Bhagavad Gita. It is unlawful desires that is pushing us to, to do things which we don't want to do. See, if you look at it in a very broad way, unlawful desires forces us to do things we don't want to do, which are detrimental to even the self, not even to the another person, but even to the self, things which are not healthy for us. Who do this? Why should I do something that I know is not good for me? Because everybody wants to do something which is very, very good. Even though we do things which are very sinful, the main pushes behind it, the motivation behind everything we do is I want to get some pleasure, I want to get happiness, I want to get peace, I want to satisfaction, I want to get satisfaction from it. But when we look at it very clearly from the spiritual point of view, we see that the things we think it is very good for us, actually the things which are destroying us. So what is that problem? What is that? What is that thing that is making us to do this? In Bhagavad locations is unlawful desires. And when we look behind that, we can also say that manipulating one another cleverly in a variety of ways. Many appear more interested in cosmetic appearances than in the essential aspect of life. This dishonest encompasses almost all areas of activity. Everyone wanted to cheat. Everyone has its method, especially some of us in this part of the world. Our propensity to cheat is too high. And our leaders around the world, as Gurudev said here, many leaders around the world say one thing and do another, which is cheating, a very gross they were entrusted to represent. Such an atmosphere is naturally stressful because everyone relates to everyone else, superficial, and with suspicion. Instead of relying on natural open expression, people attempt to exploit and control each other and the various organizations to which they belong. People are forming organizations. We may say this is a NGO, philanthropic organization, so we are nationalists, so we are interested in helping people, but actually we are grouping people so that we can lead them, so we can control them, so we can manipulate them. It is difficult to find someone forming an organization, creating a very big organization, and he is not the president of that team, of that place. He is a president. He is the one in charge of it. If he's not the one in charge, maybe his wife or some relative is in charge of it. It is difficult to find someone who is so selfless like that. So what is behind people forming organization is not because of people. It is because of their own interests. I remember a few years ago, one boy, he just graduated from university and thinking about how long it would take to get a job, and even after getting the job, all the difficulties one has to go through, the colleagues, fees, the boss, fees, and many things like that. He cleverly form a party for a particular group. And he launched a heavy campaign how he's going to liberate a particular group he belongs to, considering them to be suppressed by the government. And thousands and millions of people were joining the register. So he got thousands of people to register, millions of people registered. Just for 3 months, he made billions. And he was promising people what he's going to do, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to. But people are so foolish. People are so foolish that they don't think, they don't sit down and think, how is this man going to do this? You're going to fight the whole government. What is your capacity? What is behind you? They don't think about this. They foolishly join. And this man deceived them and led them to the very day he was going to declare the republic. He disappeared. Cheating. So look at the stress, the amount of stress that he put the people into. And some people, they even get to the position, they elect them to be like our politicians. Here in Nigeria, all the politicians, they are all thieves. All of them, they are thieves. And when they are passing on the road, when there is traffic, they will blow the siren, and people who voted them into power will run up to the road for them to pass. Although they are thieves, and people give them respect. Whatever they promised never get manifested, because they were just doing that to get the interest of people so they can cheat. It's always the case. Like common people are being misled. So it is stressful when one gets to understand at the end that all the promises are not there. And if it is a legal campaign like politicians, I'm going to provide road, I'm going to provide schools, I'm going to provide hospitals, I'm going to provide systems, so many things. And by the time they are voted into power, none of these things will take place. None of them. So it is stressful. It is stressful. Creating anxiety. People who are struggling to live, they will carry the little money they have to go and register for a foolish campaign from political person. And when that is gone, and whatever they were aiming to get is not there, even anxiety, a lot of anxiety. So Gurudev is saying, this is duplicity and dishonesty, creating a lot of stress for people. Even in a spiritual circle, we find the same thing, the same cheating and duplicity. Cheating. People are very manipulative. How many people have been destroyed, even in the name of religion, not even in the name of politics or whatever. Of course, we know that politicians are hiding in it, taking the position of a spiritualist to cheat people. And so we have so many so-called religious wars. Actually, when we look behind those so-called religious wars, they are manipulated, masterminded by politicians. We have so many unscrupulous, like BC Kisena. BC Kisena. who declared himself a yogi. Now, Vishnu. He declared himself to be Lord Vishnu, and he got one person whom he declared to be Vishnu, Brahma, and another person as Shiva. And he declared, I'm going to single-handedly drive away the British people from this country, India. I will liberate India. Just wait and see what I will do in a few days. Meanwhile, he was abusing, or having sexual abuse with all the women around. So some sincere people reported to the husband what was happening, and they communicated to the government. The government were very much afraid. So they hand over the issue to Srila Bhakti. So can we imagine the level of stress this man caused people in the name of God, in the name of religion? So while the politicians are doing their own, in the name of religion, these things are also going. Dishonesty is going on. And we're not, a lot of stress is placed on people's heads. Not only that he has cheated people, even to deal with him, people were very much afraid, and they warned about not to cry. Even in the name of justice, do not go to, just leave him. He has already caused problem. We don't want you to suffer for that. Just leave him alone. Don't go there. So Bhakti Thakura just smiled because he doesn't exhibit a yogi power, so people don't know that he is the best of yogis. As a devotee of Krishna, he's the best of the yogis. He's the best. As Krishna described about it, the best of the yogis. He's a devotee of Krishna. Yoganama Pisaravisam. So you know that Srila Bhakti Thakura is the best of the yogis. So he dealt with him, but he caused a lot of stress for people because of what? He duplicitous and dishonest. So Buddha is saying that this widespread duplicity and dishonesty contribute to the general level of stress. People put into stress. In so many religious organizations, you find the same thing. You find the same thing all over the world. Many people profess to be religionists, but the end is to cause stress. And in our movement also we have we have the same situation that people are under stress. I cannot talk to my guru. I cannot see my guru if I have to say. There's no relationship between me and my guru. So much stress people are passing through. Go brothers and go sisters, I can't even allow me to go. So I have no service for my guru. I can't do anything. There's nothing I can do. Stress. These are not. They are not healthy stress. They're unhealthy. And we don't take care of our dependent. Is cheating, a duplicity, a duplicity. In the second canto of Bible time, in one purpose, the Papa said, it is illegal to take disciples and not caring for them. It is illegal. So it is duplicity, and it's causing stress for people. The leaders are doing that. The leaders include the spiritual leaders. Many leaders around the world, they say one thing and do another. That is going on, cheating. This is cheating. One friend told me after he got initiation, the secretary of the special master, a lady came to him and gave him his bead. And she told him, it's a last meal. You have a direct communication like this with a special master. How will a sincere person feel? But then why should I accept him to be my spiritual master when I will not have access to him? It's not there for me. Then how is he my spiritual master? So these things we are seeing causing stress for people. The leaders, material leaders, and the spiritual leaders, even our immediate leaders also, not attending to different issues or our necessary needs, causes stress. It's very dangerous and risky. In our own personal relationship with other devotees, our friends around, we should be very careful that we don't cause any stress for anyone by our word, by our dealing, by anything. For example, we have work to do together. Have a committee. Committee means what? We have selected 5 people to handle a particular project. Accepting that I am part of this committee for this particular service means what? Means I have to do my part efficiently. I have to do my part nicely. That is why I'm there. I have to contribute to make it a success. Just like in a football field, 11 players are in the team. If some players are not passing on the ball to the next, they are going to lose. And that will be stressful for the team because everybody with anxiety. Because we are on the field to win the goal. Want to score and win. And for us to do that means that every team player has to put in their effort. So if anyone is not putting, means we are deflecting the team, and they're going to lose. And that will cause stress. So it is not just that we will look at everything externally. We should also look at it internally. We should look at it individually, because as we have individual stress, we're also causing stress for other people. So we look at this thing very carefully. And the Gurudev is giving the nice solution. In modern society, is to develop a stress-free lifestyle. Then we have to give up dishonesty. We have to become honest. We have to give us duplicity. We have to become straightforward and become very simple. Simplicity, straightforwardness. So Bible explains simplicity and straightforwardness is the same. Simple, which is a missing ingredient in contemporary life. This is a missing ingredient. Honesty, straightforwardness, being simple, being very, very conscious of what we do, where we are. Yes, it's very important. The Gurudev says it is the missing ingredient. Missing ingredient. Therefore, if you want to be free from stress, individually or collectively, and it's always starting with individual. always started with it. Not what collective. We start with individual before collective. Because if a group of dishonest people come together, so it's a collective dishonest people. So the individual will make the collective effort. So if the collective, if we are individually honest, and then we come together, so we are collectively honest. This is a group of honest people, and things work better because they will not stress. So we will see things in a proper perspective. No one can do something perfectly if it's in distress, it's in anxiety. Stress causes us to lose the balance, to lose focus. Because the mind will focus on the difficulty, not focus on the essence. Just like we have a practical experience, every day we are chanting. If the mind is very disturbed, we cannot hear what we are chanting. The anxiety will take away our attention from chanting. Then it becomes inattentive chanting. That's what it means. Inattentive means the mind has gone somewhere. The mind is not chanting. So we have to be very, very mindful. If you want to be stress-free, you have to be mindful. Mindful in how we deal with each other, in everything that we do. In fact, when we come together, we should know how serious a Krishna consciousness is. Missing ingredients, which we have to work for it. We have to work for it. Honesty, straightforwardness, simplicity, being mindful in everything. That will make us stress-free. And everything we do to be wonderful offering to our chariots, to Krishna. Wonderful offering. Problem with the present day society. Present day society is what? It's a take society. Take society. Take. It's amazing how the Prabhupada have done so much thing imperceptibly. We have been saying this many times and we continue to say it. Every conditioned soul, looking at something, will look at it in terms of what is my own benefit here. Nobody look at how can I benefit this thing or benefit this person? We think, what can I get from this person? Oh, this person is so nice, beautifully handsome. Or this, I will get my pleasure from this subject, from this person. Then I will smile. Smiling means that yes, it is what I've been looking for. I'm very empty. I want to fill my emptiness with you. Now I have seen what is missing in me. It is you, yeah. What is making me empty? Why have I not come to fill it up since? Anyway, now it is time. I have gotten what I need to fill in the gap, the void. You don't use the word, the void. Filling in the void. So it's a take society. So we look at things in terms of what am I going to take. This is the missing thing, also the missing thing. The missing thing is what? We don't have the nature of giving or maintaining or caring. Conditions for doesn't have this. It's a missing link. Take society. Consuming society. Society has a hungry mood characterized by meanness and jealousy. Enough is not enough. Enough is never enough. People may be aware that something is missing, and rightly so. However, the way they usually try to fill the void is by acquiring ever greater quantities of material goods, bigger cars, taller office buildings, taller office buildings, flashier clothes, more elaborately equipped hotels, more opulent shopping centers, and more complex or perverted forms of entertainment. All material, all external, all ephemeral, all. So we are always trying. We heard from His Holiness Radhana Maharaj. He told us one of his friends. He visited one of his friends, and the father, the mother, the husband and the wife, they have 2,000 varieties of toys, just one boy. Just one boy, 2,000. And out of the 2,000, nothing is concerning Krishna. Of course, they are not devotees, what we expect. But the thing is, when it takes society, so what will happen to this boy when he grows up greedy? That's what we are maintaining. We are training people to become opposite to reality. Right from the beginning, the boy already having 2,000 toys. When the boy grows up, he's going to reduce it? No, he's going to ask for the real thing. Some years ago, we went to visit one of the army generals in Nigeria. So we went to meet him. He appreciated the Krishna consciousness, but greedy. He appreciated Krishna consciousness, but not practice. But he liked the books. He collected the books we gave to him. He collected them with joy. Immediately he was reading them. But it's very materialistic. General, we saw just in one building alone, more than 20 cars and heavy cars that cost millions. That is just one place. It's for one person. That's for one person. What is that? It takes society, greed. The money you're stealing is stealing from the country. As one person, heavy car. These are not a small car like you. Some of you have in the country. In Nigeria, they don't ride small cars. In Nigeria, they have big, heavy cars, very expensive cars. How would they ride? Very greedy. And because of that, I have to steal to maintain that status. Therefore, people have less interest to ask for God. Even if people go to God, they're going to God for as a supplier, not as a person we should worship. That is a problem. Stress leads to greed. And the greed makes us empty of God consciousness. So we're going to look for bigger thing, this thing, that thing, this man, this woman, this the car, that the country, that is all we're looking for. There's nothing that has to do with the soul. Take society, make everybody greedy. Because we are looking at everything, every single thing. And if I don't have access, they are useless. They're useless. So in the material world, the problem with the tech society is that you want to take and I want to take. So who's going to give? Frustration will be what we will celebrate. Frustration. That is what is happening everywhere. Two people will come together in the name of love. At the end, they are greatest enemies. Why? Because both of us are empty. I want to use you to fill my gap. You want to use me to fill your gap. But both of us doesn't have what we are looking for from each other. You don't have it, I don't have it. And we come together to give it to each other. I want to take from you, you want to take from me. Both of us are thieves. Who is going to steal? The one who takes first is considered very smart. But both of us are thieves. That is the point. If I steal from you first, that doesn't make me better. We are thieves. I'm a thief. We are thieves. So we are acquiring so many different things, and that is the goal of life. The goal of life. Therefore, people try to stress themselves for acquiring these things. Stress themselves for acquiring these things. Stress, acquiring these things. The process of getting them, we will implicate ourselves more. Narada Muni and Parvati Muni, they told them, Chitta, Ketu. You want to increase your stress. You have one stress. We are speaking, but we don't hear. People are not hearing. The scripture is speaking, telling us everything, but we don't hear. I say we don't hear. We can think I'm hearing because I used to preach. I have had it many times. I have spoken about it and I have read it. I have had it. That does not mean that we have had it. It doesn't mean we have had it. Stress. I have one problem, which is stress. In the process of rectifying that, we increase the stress. When you told now you have only one problem. The problem is I don't have a child. It's just one problem. So you are stressed because of that. Okay. But it's not better for you to deal with one than to increase it. No. If I get, I will not be stressed. I'll be stress-free. Just bless me to have one child. Just bless me. We just get, even this one. It's okay, you take it. But don't think that you'll be free from stress. Your stress is going to increase. No, if I get it. Yeah, even if I get it for one day. Okay. But you got is the stress increase. You didn't decrease, increase. This is the problem. But nobody knows this. If our chariots are the greatest witnesses, they give us. They're givers. They're not takers. They're givers. They're givers. They're giving us everything. So Gurudev gave the solution as we told this dangerous culture we have been cultivating. True human needs include being able to give. Yes, our children, they're giving. See the stress Prabhupada went through, divine stress, auspicious stress. Prabhupada went through heavy stress to give us Krishna consciousness, just to give. See all our chariots, the stress they pass through to give us what we need, to give us something. Look at the Sister Swami, the stress they pass through. See all of them, all the chariots. Even those who are outside our tradition, like Jesus, like Muhammad, they pass through a lot of stress to give something for us to us. But that was bona fide stress, spiritual stress. They pass through many stress to give us something. But that is healthy because it's beneficial. True human needs include being able to give, to coexist with nature. Yes. Then they said, how do they say it? Live and let us live. Yes, they say like that. Live and let us live. Coexistence. Or to coexist with nature and to live simply. Yes. That's it. To fulfill this need, people can learn to adopt a win-win approach to life. Win-win. Live and let us live. And okay, to take it back to our own, to take it back to our own tradition, our own culture. Srila Prabhupada built a house in which the whole world can live in. That means what? Krishna and Krishna pure devotees, they have a strength to construct a place that can contain everybody. Everybody doesn't mean only human being, means all living entities. Accommodate everyone. Live and let us live. Coexistence. I win approach. That is life, in which one person's gain is not another person's loss. In the material world, my success means what? I push you down so I can stand. That is material. So I'm stressing you so I can release myself from stress. But by doing that, I'm increasing my own stress. So this is not known. So our charities are the perfect givers. They don't take anything, already give us. So Prabhupada said, I'm giving the Maha Mantra without payment, free. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. There's no payment for it. And we had Chaitanya, we broke the Panchata to the king, they broke the storehouse of the bliss. They broke the house open. They broke it and distributed the good free. They give us. They are the givers. They don't take, but they give. So in a life of two persons or many people coming together just for the interest of giving, that is a community. That community is Vaikuntha community. That is a culture Prabhupada gave to us, all our children gave to us. To give, not to take. A culture of giving. So Prabhupada imperceptibly turn our horrible taking mentality into giving mentality by what? I mentioned before that when we look at things in this material world, we look at it in terms of what I will get, what I will get, what I will get from it. So Prabhupada gave us a different approach. A devotee take a book in hand, he entered the street. So when you see a person, we're thinking, how we can give the book to the person, not what I can take from this person. So Prabhupada did this to change our mentality towards the dangerous taking mentality which we have, that is destroying our vital energy. Win-win approach. And we see people who are thinking about the welfare. How can I help this person? Then what can I take from this person? Stress producing technologies. In the modern world, excessive stress is often the product of an environment of rapid technological and economic growth that pushes people to acquire vast amounts of unnecessary commodities. Problems of contemporary society. Contemporary society requires its members to work hard, earn sufficient income, and exercise constant vigilance just to maintain the status quo. Such demands, which appear threatening for many, can give rise to fear, insecurity, and loneliness, all contributing factors to unhealthy levels of stress. There is one of the African head of states. When he took over the government, he will tell his driver to fill the tank of the car. And they will enter the uptown and you have seen a lot of empty space of this. And you here. And the driver continued to run until the gas finished in that car. Then he will park. Okay, we'll mark here. So from where he started to that end, that it becomes his property. And different organizations, different companies today, they encourage the workers to just to waste every part of their life in their companies, not think of anything else. You should just die for the company, or the company should not die for them. So this is the problem we have with the society. In order to become divinely empowered, people must become free from such pressures so that they can make rich, healthy contributions to society rather than resorting to or defending themselves against abuse, misuse, and manipulation. Industrialized versus non-industrialized societies. A simple lifestyle can provide important health benefits. Physical inactivity contributes to stress. Yes. As a rule, members of less industrialized societies are more physically active, and so they more easily convert stress into constructive energy. In contrast, the automated Western way of life actually produces harmful stress because people spend too much time in such sedentary activities as riding in automobiles or watching television, even going so far as to press a button on the remote control to change the channels. This is considered civilization advancement, but people do not know that it is not at all advancement. It is degradation, and it is affecting us. Today, the father is in one room with computer, the wife is in another room with computer, the daughter in another room with computer, the son in another room with computer. So what is the family here? Can you show me what is the family? Family have been destroyed because of what? Commodity. The Gurudev said in book 2, we have replaced community with commodities. This was happening. Watching television. And what is there in television? For an average child in a civilized or civilized world, you say before the child is, say, 5 years, they have seen more than 5,000 or 500,000 horrible, violent movies. So what is entering into the consciousness of this person, of this boy? He is growing up with hostility because everything I've been watching is growing up to practice it. Some years ago, I went to visit a devotee. The wife is not a devotee. So as soon as we entered, thinking that, because it's something they've been doing, thinking they want to entertain us. They want to open the television. And what came out? The first thing that came out was a very naked girl came out from there. But another man with a bottle of drinks. They all sat together. They were drinking and smoking. So I told, can you please excuse me to turn off this thing? So they turn it off. So we were there and discussed spiritual things. When we were leaving, so I told the man, I said, Prabhu, you know what you just did now? When you turn on just turn on the television, the first thing that came up was a very terrible advert. So here, young daughters are sitting here watching that every day. They're going to grow with that. What do you think they're going to do after they grow? They're just waiting for their time to come so they will start doing something like this. So what do you think you're teaching your daughters? So we have horrible type of life people are culturally very, very destructive. And we think this is advancement. We think this is civilization. We think this is life. How can we be free from stress when this is our life? How do we want to be free from stress? In the workplace, computers allow an executive to manage a group of corporations without having to leave the office, enslaved by houses, cars, and appliances. People in the Western world have become so addicted to comfort that they are amusing, enjoying, and relaxing themselves to death. That is our civilization, our advancement. Furthermore, because of the scope and the interdependence of these technologies, even a small disruption can have far-reaching consequences and produce tremendous chaos. To be a decision maker in such circumstances is naturally very stressful. Feelings of uncertainty, regret, and remorse are understandable consequences of such complex, interdependent, impersonal technologies. Yes, people are feeling lonely everywhere. The devotees will feel lonely. Many devotees feel lonely. Why do we feel lonely? Loneliness means what? The soul has no nourishment. There's no nourishment for the soul. no nourishment. It's dry. So a person who is being supported with pleasure, with satisfaction, with good feeling, you will not feel lonely. Even if you're alone, you will not feel lonely. Some years ago, His Holiness Japaraka Swami asked me, so since you are good developed, you have support, as I say, Maharaj, here in Africa, I feel lonely. I feel that I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. But I feel I'm alone, but I'm not lonely. Look at me very carefully. And he didn't say it. But he prayed for me. He blessed me. I feel, yes, I'm alone, but not lonely. If one is getting spiritual nourishment, even if you're alone, you don't feel lonely. Harida Sekura was not that lonely. He lives alone in a cave, chanting 300,000 holiness of Krishna. He was never lonely. The Sri Goswamis, they were alone in Vrindavan. They were never lonely. While Bill Gates can be with thousands of servants and feel lonely. That is his problem, loneliness. And the devotees also feel lonely. Why? Because we are not sufficiently nourishing the soul. It means that we are too selfish, or suddenly not strong. We don't have a caring attitude towards others. And our life is full of duplicity and dishonesty. We're lonely. That what causes loneliness. Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur said the part of Bhakti is like a stream of honey, flowing very freely. A stream of honey is flowing, a stream of honey is flowing, that is part of Bhakti. So why should devotees who are following that part be lonely? Means we're not taking the honey. We're not drinking. The sages and Amesharanja, they express the feeling. Muhur aho, again and again, drinking nectar and fainting, and waking up and drinking and fainting. So where's the loneliness? So the stream of honey which is flowing, we're not drinking. Then loneliness. The effect of stress. Modern day acquisitive society emphasizes industrial development and rapid growth at any cost. One of these costs appears to be human health and well-being. The incidence of heart disease provides a case in point. Since the early 20th century, heart attacks have become a major problem around the globe, particularly in the West. Yet, in many less developed areas of the world, such widespread heart disease does not exist. I was just telling you what is 2 days ago. I remember in our days, we walk for miles to farm, we walk for miles to school, we walk for miles to market. Everything we work here and there. Natural life. And last week, remember, I showed that video for last week. We showed that video. What was the secret? They were living very close to nature. Everything was natural. They walk on the field. They do everything naturally. So they are the happiest and the longest living people on the planet. While the heavy industrialized countries are not the happiest people. They're not considered the happiest people. They are the most frustrated people. So what is the message for us? What is the message? The most happiest people and those who live longer than others are not those from the heavy industrialized country. There are people who live very close to nature. Instead of subjecting our consciousness to one particular situation, just imprison ourselves in one place and locked up in one place. We don't have to communicate with the people because they are considered barriers. We cannot enter somewhere. We're in prison. The prison doesn't only mean the 4 walls. I'm a prisoner in the house, I'm a prisoner in the streets. A prisoner. In our body, prisoner. In many less developed areas of the world, such widespread heart disease does not exist. In these societies, which are more human, which are more humane and genuinely communal, people see themselves as their brother's keepers and consequently experience less isolation and stress. The incidence of heart disease seems to rise with the increase in the gross national product. In other words, so-called material advancement apparently provide increasing possibilities for heart failure. The World Health Organization report of a 1991 meeting in Geneva regarding cardiovascular disease states the Assistant Director General pointed out that cardiovascular diseases were already the leading cause of morbidity and premature mortality in industrialized countries, and that their emergencies as a public health problem in developing countries had been recognized by the World Health Assembly as early as 1976. He also emphasized the extremely high human and economic cost of the problem. Cardiovascular disease is becoming an increasingly prominent problem in developing countries. Rheumatic heart disease, hypertension, and cardiomyopathy are already prevalent. And excuse me, I'm sorry. Somebody is calling me. Somebody is disturbing my calling. It's affecting. And coronary heart disease is assuming growing significance. Obviously, industrial or material growth and development are not harmful in themselves. However, ignorance of the impact of technological advancement can produce tumor. And when development is not humanly oriented, it does the opposite of what was intended. Instead of making life appreciably better, it puts everyone in a more disease condition, just like what we have today. And we have coronavirus. What is the coronavirus? It is coming from the chemical, the nuclear chemicals that people are, and our politicians, our so-called leaders are doing. It's producing all the problems that we are facing now. It's a global problem. It's something that has been there a long time. Bill Gates has been talking about this thing many years back. Not just today, it's happening. It is just becoming prominent. It's all this the result of what the nonsense thing they have been doing. So it is not helping any person, anybody. Instead, it is increasing the stress and anxiety and the frustration of people, creating all kinds of problems. Paradoxically, while seeking ways to enjoy the conveniences of life, modern society has instead increased stress and its complications. Had people initially been aware of the impact of many technologies, they might have rejected them out of hand. We will not know because the politician will not tell us the truth. They always continue to force everybody to think that everything is fine. Well, those things is fine. For example, people are moving towards a green or organic lifestyle. That is what is happening now. See, if you go to a water GEB, you look at their reception hall is full of award from different organizations, different governments, full of awards. Why? Because when people are appreciating this lifestyle. Prahlad Maharaj, in his prayers to the Supreme Lord, confirms it. Although this is Bhagavatam 7:9-17. Although there are many remedies by which to get out of miserable life, any such remedies in the material world are more miserable than the miseries themselves. Therefore, I think that the only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. This is a devotee. This is a person who is very, very fortunate, who is not a demonic. They can think in this way, can see in this way. People are foolish. They don't understand anything, yet we don't want to know. We are so conditioned that we appreciate those who are cheating us, and those who are telling you the truth are not appreciated. This is our misfortune. This is our misfortune. That's the correct singing. We are accepting the temporal things as reality, as real, instead of taking the shelter of Lord Nityananda from our Prabhu's and Lord Nityananda Prabhu's lotus feet. We are accepting the lotus feet of Maya and thinking it is enjoyment. This is our misfortune. For example, in the early 20th century, few people considered the automobile to be one of the most dangerous and devastating inventions of our culture. Yet, as many will agree, despite the fact that automobile travel has enhanced the quality of life in some ways, it has also caused serious problems. Those days, we don't hear of many people dying in accident like today. Although it is facilitating the journey, but it's causing a lot of trouble. What of the pollution it is causing? So many side effects are there. Therefore, those who are very fortunate to take seriously to Krishna consciousness and follow this principle that is being discussed in his own baptism Maharaj's leadership book or books, and be free from this. This is the only hope and solution. Solve all the problems we have. Long-term emotional stress. Long-term emotional stress. In some situations, stress can literally be a matter of life and death. In the book, Stress and Disease, edited by Stewart Wolf, a study by Dr. Harold G. Wolf compares American soldiers imprisoned in Germany during World War II to those imprisoned in Japanese camps. Conditions in the Japanese camps were far more demoralizing, filled with terror and humiliation for the prisoners. The resulting stress produced distinct differences between the survival rates of captives held by the Japanese and Germans. This study found that fewer than 1% of American servicemen imprisoned in Europe died before release, while the totality rate for those in Japanese camp was 1 in 3, despite similar levels of nutrition and medical care. It also found that the average prisoner in Asia was held much longer, 40 months, compared with the 10 months in the European camps. But the discrepancy in the camp depth was so large that the author began seeking other factors. He discovered that the major difference was simply the degree of emotional stress. So we have example of the sati was emotionally stressed and hurt by the experience he received from her father. She was not killed by weapons or by starvation or by poison. Nothing. It was just emotional stress. Just she gave up her body because she was not honored, respected by her father. What happened when the war ended and the survivors went home? According to the report, the death rate for those who survived the Japanese prisons was 3 times that of those released from the German camps. Further, the causes of death included many diseases not directly related to confinement or starvation. For example, there was twice the normally expected incidence of heart disease, twice the number of cancer cases, more than 4 times the usual occurrences of gastrointestinal diseases, and 9 times the expected number of cases of pulmonary tuberculosis. It became apparent that the greatest stress experienced by those imprisoned in the Japanese camps was the determining factor between living and dying for many. So to have a stress or to have the fear, to have fear that can kill someone before the death, the actual physical death. Because it's just like when the person is bleeding, when the person is bleeding inside, internal bleeding is very dangerous because the blood is entering back inside the body, not coming outside. So it's dangerous. That is the case with emotional stress and hurt. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Shri Gurudev. Thank you so much for this session today. Dear devotees, in case you have any questions, you may raise your hand on Zoom or you can type the question in the chat box. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand on Zoom so that we can get a count of how many devotees are there in line. Shri Gurudev, we have a question from Venkatesh Prabhu and Shyam Murari Prabhu. So,
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
yes, Shri Gurudev. Shyam Murari Prabhuji, could you turn on your video and unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Gurudev, thank you for your wonderful lecture about the current scenario which we all are facing. I had a question that living in the material world, I cannot exactly quote, but what I understood is that when there is a fire, the smoke will come out. So that's what Lord says, that in the material world, knowingly, unknowingly, people get caught up in different kinds of things which is not as per harmonious with nature, harmonious with the community development. So now when we are living in a society, even for example, to do anything in the society, things system have degraded so much that unknowingly or knowingly you get caught in the system itself. So then it looks that to change the whole system of the material world, is it possible? Because today we discussed so many things that the community should be like this. So is it at all possible, or the material world would go like that only, Srila Gurudev? And how devotees should execute their responsibilities?
I remember Srila Papa told one devotee, just finish your bhakti and go back, just go away. just concentrate on your bhakti, finish it and go away. Just go back to Godhead. Don't think that you can change anything here. It's not possible. The Lord would have done it himself. We should just do our part. That's all. That right we have. If you look very carefully, as Gurudev explained, what should go wrong is going on without being checked in Kali. Everything that should go wrong is going wrong. See the level of faithlessness people are, even as devotees. Look at the level of faithlessness we have in Christian consciousness. I'm talking about those of us who are practicing. Look at the level of dullness we have in our own consciousness, practicing Christian consciousness. How much can we perceive about Krishna? How much? So much is available, but how much can we get? See, many people come to Krishna consciousness and even in a big position, but we look at the level of our selfishness, very high. Very high. As a devotee, very, very high. Why devotees are complaining, oh, I cannot talk to my guru, I cannot see my guru, I have no connection. The guru is a physical, but why? Why is it not available for you? Just like you are married and your wife is in London, no communication, no talking, no relationship. Do you call that marriage? That is not. Similarly, you accept the person to be, okay, you have office, you have so many workers there, but you're not there. No, none of the workers will see you. If they have any difficulty, you're not there. No, you're not there. Can you consider an office? No. The same way. Why this thing? Why is this? I was asking the devotee a question. See, all of us here, we have heard so much about the soul is eternal, the soul is eternal, the soul is eternal. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We are all part and parcel of Krishna. We have had this, we have talked about it. We have read it. And we're going to do this for eternity as far as we're in this body and this movement. This is what we are going to deal with. But why, since a simple thing is so difficult for us to do? What's the problem? We are talking big philosophy, but why simple thing is so difficult for us? With all the philosophy, with all our brain, with our intelligence, why this simple thing is difficult for us to do? Why we say having heated argument, mediating people that don't need mediation. Right? What the principle of mediation? I should be able to understand that I contributed to the problem. You should be able to understand that you contributed to the problem. But both of us are refusing to accept that. What would be the point of mediation? Who is going to mediate us? One, I have never accepted the basic foundation for mediation to take place, to work out perfectly. That the situation here is that whatever has happened, it has happened, but we will remain in the community, not as enemies, but as friends. The basic foundation to solve that is I have to understand, I contributed, you contributed, let us contribute for the solution. But I have refused and you have refused. How will we solve the problem? Who is going to waste his or her time to mediate us? Who? But the basic foundation is not there. be difficult. I'm talking as a devotee, not even those who have not even come to Krishna consciousness. So what to say about them? You forget about them. People have already started this journey. Yeah, you can say, let me encourage them in their journey. But those who have not started, what to do with them? They are not started, they are not ready to start. So at least let us deal with those who have already started the journey.
Yes, Gurudev. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shila Gurudev. We have our next question from Venkatesh Prabhu. I'll just read out the question. Prabhuji is saying, Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for giving us your association today. Could you give a few practical tips for transforming my thought process from taking culture to giving culture? The selfishness is rooted too deep even while trying to practice bhakti process, which is actually nothing but a sweet river of nectar. It is a big obstacle. Your servant, Venkatesh.
Yes, we just talk about a heavy amount of selfishness in our consciousness. This is what we're just talking about. So, what to do to free from the taking mentality? So we should know. We already discussed. You don't have, I don't have. So it's illusion. It's illusion for me to think that my emptiness is because of you, or your emptiness because of me. This is illusion. We should try to correct this mistake. My emptiness is not because of you. Your emptiness is not because of me. Our emptiness is because we don't have Krishna. That is our emptiness. So we should not try to fill the void with void. We cannot fill the void with void. We can only fill the void with substance. That is Krishna consciousness. So we have to practice looking at things not only for my own benefit. We should try to look at things by appreciating this is a spiritual, at least philosophically. We should start appreciating this is a spiritual. I should appreciate. In fact, even for me to think that you are the object for my enjoyment, which is lacking in me. At least I should think that it should exist for you to give me that pleasure. You should exist. And for you to exist, I should try to take care of you. Therefore, instead of taking, I should think how I can do to maintain this person so I can continue to have my pleasure with. We don't have this consciousness, we are not going to succeed. I've seen from my practical experience, I sit and I've seen also that place. I'm talking practical thing. I sit here in my room or office every day. Many devotees come. Everybody comes, we come with something. I'm talking, giving precedent, giving precedent. I have never seen someone who is asking, this person who is sitting there that we go to meet every day. This person who is sitting there that we are going to meet every day, how is he doing? I have not seen. What is that? Selfishness. At least we were doing parikrama in Vrindavan, in India. I have told many devotees, see, we think we are transcendental people, and these people, they are, whatever we call them. We came here to visit this place because they are taking care of this place. So we should think that they are doing something to keep this place. Therefore, we should give them contribution. We should give them donation. If they're not keeping this place, how are we going to visit here? The place is not there. How are we going to visit there? So now you go to Nawadwi, a Crusader is now a brick factory. So we're going to visit there. That's a Crusader. So we're going to visit there. So when we're doing the Navadi Prekama, we always by the road and point hand. That is Crusader. Why we don't go there like other places? Because it's a brick factory. And Namisharaya is also shrinking because also people are purchasing it and purchasing it. Before you know, you go there, it's someone's house. Someone is living there. Can you go and sit in someone's house? They say you're going to talk about Namisharaya Navadi. The other time we went to Gori Tirtha. I see rice field. And I was telling you what you see demarcation. It means that people have purchased the whole of this place. So today we are sitting here. What will happen after a few years? The person who has bought this place, he come and put the building here. He cannot come here again. So Gori Tirtha will be in the book. Show me Gori Tirtha. You're not going to see it because somebody else has purchased the place. I know the devotee is finding me today. You will go and sit there to talk about the past and present perform here with good peace. So the place is important because people are maintaining that place. So we should appreciate them by giving them donations so they can be happy to keep the place for us to come and visit. This culture we should try to cultivate and remove this big disease in our consciousness that we are transcendental people. We are transcendental means you should do something transcendentally, but we don't do that. It's only a name. So we go to visit somebody there to tell him a problem, he's talking the whole day, every day is like that, every day like that, and then he's relieving us from whatever stress, anxiety we have, he's relieving us from that, and he's giving us a percent. But we never one day ask him, hey Maharaj, how are you doing? What can I do? That is selfishness. You don't care for the person. So tomorrow, if you go there and see the person, you're like, I miss him. We're not missing him because we love him. We're missing him because he's not there again to give us the same gratification we're getting from the person. This selfishness should be given up. This is the way to think. I'll just give an example. Proper taught us a Sankirtan, book distribution. This is one of the ways to change our consciousness. And when we see someone, so think, I like this girl. Let's see if I get this boy, my happiness will be, will be very happy. Oh, look at this car. Oh, great. Oh, look, this flower. This flower is so beautiful. I can use it to decorate my house. Instead of thinking like that, this flower is, I will do it to make gallant for that. You see, it properly change the consciousness. Proper just change it. So it's the same thing now, but the consciousness is different. I will make beautiful garden for that tomorrow. I must get this flower for them. See? Oh, see, very nice fruit in it. I will get this fruit tomorrow. I think this one will enjoy this. Rupa Swami said we must offer fresh fruit, seasonal food to be offered to Krishna. I'll get it as well. Yesterday I was hearing from His Holiness Swami how one day they were crossing Jalangi River, and Sri Papa saw a boy carrying a basket full of vegetables, fresh vegetables, and Papa stopped the boy. Where are you going with this? The boy said, you're going to sell it. So Papa said, sell all of it to us. We're going to buy all of it. How much is it? And then they went into bargain, and proper bargain and purchase everything. And they say, see, we're going to buy everything from you. So you don't have to go on the hunt the whole day, hawking the whole day for you to buy. You don't have to go and sit inside the sun the whole day for you to buy. We're going to buy everything. So you can go back home and do many other things. So just sell it for us. Eventually, it was purchased. Prophet said, go out to the temple and give it to the temple. The boy went and gave to the temple. And then Prabhupada told them, see, you should get fresh vegetable for Krishna. See, changing consciousness. Changing consciousness. That is why Srila Bhakti Notakura said, as we are practicing Krishna consciousness, we should be working on ourselves. We should work on ourselves. We have explained many times, working on ourselves means what? We should work on ourselves. This we should practice. We should practice, we should do it. Changing our consciousness. So we're to be free from stress, we should practice changing consciousness, do something practical. Anything we see, we should see it in relation with Krishna. Oh, this is just people on the Krishna. Let me preach, let me introduce some books to these people. Let them hear something about Krishna. In this way, we are changing our own consciousness, we are changing people's consciousness into Krishna consciousness. And that's how we get blessing. This is how our transformation will come. So instead of claiming to be transcendental, we should be working on our transformation. Transformation is better than to make us transcendental.
Thank you, Maharaj. Try to implement these points.
Please do it. Do it. Let us do it. Let us do it.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev, for this wonderful answer. And I think we don't have any more questions here on Zoom. So we would like to thank you for this session today. And we would just like to inform the devotees that currently we are reading from the book Leadership for an Age of Higher Consciousness, Part 1. And you can find this book on Amazon Kindle. So it'll be nice if we all can have a pre-read before the sessions. So we'll be sending the purchase link to all of you in case you wish to buy the book. And we thank Srila Gurudev very much for this class today, and we're eagerly waiting to hear some next series on this session of the stress management. So we thank Srila Gurudev very much for today's session. Thank you so much, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Leshu, for being
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Ananda. How are you?
Krishna. Fine, Guru Maharaj. And how is your Krishna consciousness, Guru Maharaj?
Very nice. Very nice.
Guru Maharaj, I just wanted to, regarding the emotional stress, but in our spiritual society, in Krishna consciousness, we don't come across such type of problem. There is more like a problem which is related in the material world, not in our spiritual organization. Is it true, Guru Maharaj?
Pardon?
Is it true that our society, the ISKCON movement, it is free from this emotional stress? Because we see it more in the material world.
Are we free? No. We are not free from emotional stress. So many. There's so many emotional stress. People are getting devastated with. Devotees are having a lot of this emotional challenges. Say somebody don't appreciate your Krishna consciousness, doesn't appreciate your life. How would you feel?
Yes.
It's not troublesome, Haribo? It's not troublesome for you? If somebody insult you, they say some insulting word to you, it does not haunt you internally?
Yes, Lord.
Yeah, it's happening. If you greet a devotee, he doesn't respond, or it's a devotee talk ill about you and you get to hear it, and it's praising the news heavily, how will you feel? People are having that feelings. All this trauma is going on within devotees. fear I'm going to lose my prestige in the society because I have done something which people are talking ill about. The hunting is different. So you're not free. You're not free.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. Free in the sense that the degree of that problem in our society is less as compared in the outside world.
Because you're not gross. That is why we say it's less. You're not less because you're not gross like other things. That is why we think it's less. It is not. It is more.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
It is more. If it is gross like other thing, everybody will see it. But it's not gross, so it is hiding there. All right.
Yes. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
See you later.
Yes, Guru Maharaj.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gauda Premanandi.
Damodara Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.